Are we alive? Hey, Happy New Year. Are we alive in 5x5? Did we make it? Did we survive? And we're 5x5. Are we alive? It's 2026 and we're back with the rock community. Mwah. I'm so happy to be back. Eric the Cat says that we are 5x5, and so too does Betty. Thank you guys. Woo! We're here. We made it. And it's so good to be here with you guys tonight on this Friday night live. We're going to be gem gazing, of course. I've got some pretty opals and some Amazonite right over there under that glowy, glowy light. We'll be checking that out. Scott, Happy New Year's to you too. And live long and prospect, Jerry. Man, have I missed you guys. It's so good to see all of your familiar faces, or at least those icons. Jeff is here, and so too is Allison from the tip top of tonight's broadcast. And we have Mr. Chubby Hubby along for the ride as well. I know my mom is tuning in. Steinkern's to you, Mom. She got a Steinkern mug for Christmas, amongst other things. So we hoist them and we cheers together as a family, as a big, big, big rock family, the one that we get to choose. A very happy new year to you. 2026, may it be all kinds of full of rocks and crystals and minerally goodness for everyone. We got to get this thing started right. we'll be doing a little bit more of that. I am thirsty. It looks like Brian is here. Good to see you. Greeting in Steinkerns and all the good things to you, Brian and Julie. Tomcat Josh is joining us here in the new year as well. It's our first Friday in the new year. What an honor. What an honor to break in this year with you, like with a great big sledgehammer or maybe a roto hammer. I would love to know. The kid Curry is buzzing on in here in his boat, and so too is Patricia's Creations. And I am, like I said, so happy to see Blind Squirrel Rocks. It's good to see you. We've got, what an appropriate show title tonight. I just got home from a trip west and some opals were sitting in my mailbox. Wow. Oh, fantastic. Don't we love those kinds of mail visits? We'll take them. Postmaster, do add the opals to my postal box. Vicky is here too. Hi, Vicky. Happy New Year to you. Yay. And about to fall asleep. I'll put her to sleep. She's not feeling good. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're feeling better, Vicky. Made her take some NyQuil just now. I know a lot of people who are feeling under the weather, and I've got some stories to tell about that myself, but that's not that fun. Let's talk about the fun stuff first. Freeform Lapidary is here. How you doing, Caleb? Good to see you here in the new year. And the Rockeferma marifera Asaurus is here as well. Good to see you. Always a fun time seeing what creature we get to be each time we run into each other on the live streams. If you've got any live streams going on this weekend, please share them in the chat. You can ask a moderator to put up a link for you, or you can put your info, like I'm going on at 6:30 on Saturday night. Jerry, Wisconsin Rockstalker, and Miss Brenda Bloom, who I am wondering also if I have missed you in the chat as well. But those two are always a good time for a Saturday night. And we've got our fun with the wonderful Wizard of Ob and his trials and tribulations going on over there in his new rock studio. I wonder if we get to see a glimpse of that, or is he going to be on this weekend? Do we need to fill some time? Seems like there was something about him taking some time off. So maybe you guys can give me the update before I give you the weekend update on the news, which is coming up next. And then we will be looking at some Boulder opals that I did get in a parcel that I will be sharing tonight. And then we also have some of that Amazon night that we didn't get a chance to lay our eyeballs on quite long enough when I did that box opening. So we have that opal guy zooming on in. I will do a live stream in a couple minutes, but no one should watch in a few minutes. My goodness, I hate to try to go toe to toe with you, Don. But it would be nice if we could pass the baton along. I love it when we get to, like I've said in the past, kind of just chain smoke the live streams maybe a little bit later. We have Akira here. Good to see you. I've got a bunch of comments that I need to respond to, both on the comments for the channel, and then I've got some emails out there. You guys, thank you so much for all the feedback from the live sale, that you got your packages. I loved that you responded back to me to make sure that I knew that you did and that everything got there safe and sound and that you enjoyed what you got and all those good things. It means a lot to me that you gave me the feedback. That positive feedback really fuels the flame to do another live stream. I'm planning on one for Valentine's Day. And so it'll be about 2 weeks before Valentine's Day, or just right at the end of January. So that if you need to stock up for that, I know we just got over the Christmas hangover, but there is that coming up. And so I figured that we would work on some more of the cabs. There's some jewelry projects coming up. We'll have a little bit of a look at that for the noose. And toilet humor, Karen, gotcha. Live stream. I got it. Thanks for pointing that out, though, because that might have flown right over. Even though I wear the ponytail like on top of my head, there's still like plenty of clearance for that's like just an airstream. Oh, fantastic, Brian. That I'm excited. I'm excited upon those delayed things that didn't make it during the holidays for one reason or another. It's so cool. Again, after the big holiday hangover of getting and spending and all the stuff, that you kind of still have some things to look forward to. That's actually my favorite pace. And so thank you for that. We've got Sage in the house. Good to see you. I hope that everybody had the happiest of holidays and got everything that you wanted, and just vigorously celebrated the new year. And it looks like we have a Jay Grigsby here. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for checking in. And I think let's see. We've got your art brought a lot of smiles for Christmas. Oh, that is the coolest feedback. Thank you so much. It's such a cool thing to send stuff out into the world, and I know a lot of you guys that are creators one way or another, and the gift givers. It's just so cool. That's one of my that's probably the favorite thing about the season that we just had. It's not about getting. It's fun. Don't get me wrong, I love those boxes in the mail and all that kind of stuff, but that's not what it's about. It's way more exciting, that fun of sending the stuff out there and having people enjoy the rocks and the jewelry and the little presents and surprises that we all get to muster. And I did see that note earlier in the chat. I was just brushing over that in the most gentle way. I am saluting that, and I'm excited, so excited about that. Yes. That's exactly what I'm excited about, Brian. And old Danny boy is here. Haven't heard the cowbell for a while. Let's ring in the new year in a literal way. Let's bring the bell out. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, and I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Would that be considered news? I'm wondering if that is, and in that case, we might have to shift. We might have to shift on. So let's do it. It's the Ozone News. I need intro music. Tonight in Ozone News, we're going to hear from Karen about her tooth woes. Some of you know that Karen has issues sometimes with different teeth. And earlier this year, within a few months from today, I was told that I had finished the laundry list of all the things that needed to happen, and great rejoicing followed. It was an amazing day. And yet, the most doomy thing I think is when you get sick during the holidays. My sickness was not from the flu. It was not from some bug that was flying about, but it was from inside. And a root of a recently crowned in royalty tooth has decided that it is not allowing for its procedure to stick. So that was the insult for last week's live and for the surprise of Christmas. The night before, actually, my family, my brother got here. The tooth decided to great big release screams of agony, and I was able to get in touch with my dentist for an emergency uh, prescription, but she on vacation, won't see her until next week. So it's been a time. Those of you who have your tooth woes might understand that that's some of the most amazing pain, and it's hard to get away from, but we persevered and we did Christmas and New Year's anyway. So, if you did not get the late breaking news, it is the new year, 2026. And what did it bring for you? What are you looking forward to? The question for you that you would be just celebrated if you would put it into the chat or into the comments. What are you looking forward to in 2026? We all would love to know. Is it new stuff for the studio? Is it your health? Is it a new tooth? I know somebody who's getting two front teeth for reals. Let's ring the bell for Eric the cat. We need some more cowbell. Thank you so much, Eric. And once again, I would like to wish you all a happy new year. What it means to us on the coast is Dungeness crab. We are the epicenter. That's right, of Dungeness crab. And so those lights that you see out there on the horizon with the very, very last sunset of 2025 in its incredibly crimson glory, those are crab boats. And so we're looking forward to some Dungy in the new year. And again, I would love to know what it is that you're looking forward to in the new year. And it looks like that beats the snot out of my chest freezer dying. That sounds terrible. I hope that we have things that we can look forward to in the new year. Betty, thank you so much for the apologies on the tragedy of my poor mouth. And a string on the doorknob would be nice, but I want to keep this tooth. It's a playa. It's somewhat towards the front, and so would love to not. These are things that the new year brings, I think. I would love to hear what you're also looking forward to. We don't want to be too much of a downer. It brought me the flu. I am so sorry, Patricia. Feel better. Feel better right quick. Oh, please. And Brenda, let us have you walking with no pain. Let's all put out a shout of either prayer or energy, whatever it is that you do for Brenda. I hope so too. I hope that you're getting rapidly better. And Jeff is talking about getting a slab saw with the fingers crossed. We got the fingers crossed for you, Jeff. I do hope that that is the case for you. And surviving unscathed is what Sage Rad is doing. And I'm like, I'll ring the bell for that. Let's all like, we're here. We're here. So we survived unscathed. Ring that bell for the new year. We've got Tomcat Josh is looking forward to looking forward. You know, that's a really good thing because when you're looking backwards, you oftentimes miss the stuff that's right in front of you. So it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. That's wise and sage. We've got Ma in the house. It's good to see you, the magnificent you that you are. And yep. Lieutenant Dan and Forrest are out there crabbing. You know it. And boy, like, you know, crab everything. Let's do it. We got the in my kitchen the crab flambe, but you might have, you know, crab cakes and crab soup and crab pops and all the good things. John, you're here. I'll make you up a Ozone Reports music blanket. That would be so cool. Oh, John, that is like one of the best gifts that I can think of for Christmas and for New Year's. That's something to look forward to. Thank you so much, John. I mean, you guys all know, right, that John is the maker of the outro for this thing. When we roll the credits, it is all John, and I swear it's one of my favorite earworms to get also. We're still doing the news, I think. We don't digress here. And in other news, in musical news, as John is making us a news intro and outro that I'm completely Twitter pated about, we also got a few gifts on the mantle here in the Ozone Studios. And I don't mean the rock studios, I mean the one upstairs that plays music. We got a U bass. And if you don't know what a U bass is, it is an acoustic electric device that is a ukulele, but with bass tuning and bass strings. That's that wonderful creature that's sitting right there. But that wasn't it. Since you can play it acoustically, you can jam along with your friends while you're camping. But if you need more power, more loud in your life, you can plug it in. But I did receive a special plugin. That pig nose hog amplifier is 30 watts of beautiful battery operated, plus you can plug it into the wall. Fun and joy for all of your camping needs. If you need to light up your mining expedition with some serious jam, it's this combination plus the little ukulele that plugs in as well. So jamming will be had. I would like to thank my brother and my dad for making these instruments possible. Plus my mom pitched in with my brother, a fabulous 12-string guitar that we will be making much noise with. So how was your Christmas? And this is what brought some smiles to my Christmas as well. We've got Julie looking forward to finishing a video with two puppies always at my feet or getting into trouble. I commiserate with you. It is nice when they will fall asleep at your feet and let you get something done. There's always a puppy at my feet as well. And moving on, uh, I did work on some commissions for the Christmas season. That's what I was busy doing when I wasn't sending out all of your packages for the wonderful live stream that we did. This is a Christmas commission that I finished for one of my return clients with a big, fat, bicolor, shillery sunstone that we mined and I faceted in the center with some flush set white topaz down the ring band. I wanted to keep it. Yes, yes, I did. But the recipient was quite thrilled also. And the fun of this particular commission wasn't just making this piece, but also having the opportunity. I made 2 rings for this person so that she would have a choice of which one to gift and left me with the other one. Raise your hand if you don't know when to stop with a project because I'm probably going to keep on playing. I finished it, and so she got to make a decision. But now I have it back in my possession because this was the winner of the 2. I love the piece, but I think I might have to play with it some more. So you guys are actually going to be able to see the progress with that one. And that brings me to what in the world is going on with our precious metal prices. And while I am letting you feast your eyes upon that, I'm going to catch up on the chat. Lesby Rockin', welcome in to the Ozone News. And also, oh, crab lasagna. That sounds delicious, actually. I would not turn my nose up at that at all, ever. Definitely not. And Jeff is looking forward to more trips to awesome rockhound spots this year. Haunted Ridge, maybe Dugway, more meetups. I hope that we meet up as well. You know, fingers crossed on maybe an OPAL rendezvous or something like that. And it's wonderful that, check this out, Jeff has met up to 53 people across the community. How wonderful that we can actually mine alongside each other. This is so cool. And Soul has landed. Hi to you. I saw your shorts, Soul. She was my I got to be her secret Santa. So she was the recipient. Oh my gosh, I missed something, you guys. I missed a Big Bell, and Brian gifted 20 Ozone Fine Art memberships. So let's ring the bell really quick for that. And then we will go ahead and talk about the Christmas stuff. My apologies, Brian. When I change aspects sometimes on the platform, I don't see everything. And so thank you so much for that. The 20 new members, welcome to the Ozonite tribe, and we will have much merriment on the other side of the channel here very soon. But thank you very much, Brian, for that. And yes, Soul got to be the recipient of my Secret Santa package, and it was in the middle of my tooth woes, and she actually talked me through like some of the worst of it. And so she gave me as much, I believe, or more than I gave her. So thank you, Soul, for that. We are looking at the silver, gold, platinum, and palladium prices for today, which is January 2nd, 2026. In the new year, the silver creeps up to $74.22. We have gold at $4,352.95. We have platinum at $2,132 round, and also palladium at $1,641. I would also like to draw your attention. I mean, while you're, having to drench yourself with cold water over passing out on those incredible prices, they were projecting that it might have crept up, the silver might have crept up to 80. So we actually got lucky. We dodged a bullet. We're $5 short of where they thought it might land after the New Year's market started over again, which was today. It'll hold for the weekend and then we'll see what happens. Some people are saying it's going to drop. Some people are saying that it's going to pop up even more. What is your guess? I would love to know. But also, I would like to draw your attention to the year of champagne. It looks like Rio Grande, I just borrowed this off of their front page. It looks like Rio Grande is going to step off of the Pantone Crazy Train and is not going with Cloud Dancer, but is going with Champagne. So not off-white, but off-clear. And I would actually name that as Ma having a certain amount of premonition, but she thought that that was going to be next year's color, 2027, and it is here early. So, Ma, my hat is tipped to you that you knew what was coming. It looks like Phil is in the house. Good to see you. We've got stinky dog farts over there on Wisconsin Rock Stalkers studio. I am so sorry about that. Dead deer dog farts are the worst. My gosh, I wonder what that dog has been into. I think I missed that. I'm worried to even scroll up and try to catch up with that. But I would say that that would be also my reaction to the silver price, if anybody wants to know. Yes, more meetups in the future, Brian, for sure. It would be so cool to meet up with everybody. And it looks like Prairie Girl is circled on back. It's good to see you. And it's a great time for new silversmiths to get in the game, right? I did some shopping in the antique genre to go see. I hit some shops to go see if I can find any alternative silver sources because wow. And it looks like Resort Dog is in the house. Good to see you. I sold the silver on the way up and bought a little coin base since it's down. Good for you. Definitely. This is one of those things where, you know, a 7-second ride might be a good time at the rodeo. Yeah, champagne. What? I laughed out loud and thought of you right away, Ma. What is going on? Yeah. And why didn't that click on? A lot more coppersmiths have been born. I've always loved mixed metal, and this is not a time to rescind that. Definitely. Don't snub your nose at some of the alternative metals, folks. It's worth not only practicing with, but I find the mixed metal pieces are every bit as beautiful, and I see some very legitimate and high zoot jewelry artists working with it. So let's do it. Kid Curry, check your coins. And I don't know. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but it's worth looking into. I don't do it myself, but I know people who sure do. Because it might be that time. Like silver is worth more than what it's, you know, the thing that's made out of it, that's for sure. Way. Brian's gonna work with lead. He's gonna try to catch up with Julie. You know, we've got the mercury that's well established in the system, and Brian's going to be following the trend with lead. All right. In other news, we've got what's going on over at the Discord. What's going on over at the Discord, guys? We've got a new Makers Showcase format that Ryan cooked up for us for the new year. Thank you so much, Ryan, for taking out the time to work on that. And you will never guess what that theme is That's right, everybody. It's OPAL. So, those of you who have caved into OPAL Madness, we have the showcase for you. The showcase is the channel at the Discord where you're not in a competition and you can make anything you well please. So, if it's a jewelry piece or if it's a specimen piece that you'd like to show off, it is totally okay. If you'd like to make a cabochon or a carving, that's okay too. Whatever it is that you do with your opal, if you just mined it out of the side of a rock face, all these things. This is the maker's showcase. Did you make it? Well, good. Show it. And this is some of the best eye candy ever. So we would love to see your Wello opals, your Andamukas, your Boulder opals from Queensland, your Lightning Ridge opals, your Spencer opals, all the opals that you can possibly dream of. Let's have a look at them over there on Ryan's Makers Showcase Gallery. And so if you need any help navigating that, there are instructions that are posted, I believe, in the makers discussion, and I really really like the format already. So you guys can all definitely give me and Ryan feedback about what's going on over there in the Discord. If you are not part of the Discord, you are invited. By watching this, we know that you are interested in the same things that we are, which is rocks and gems and making things with them and finding them, all the rock hound things that we love to do. So you are welcome. We have an invite that lasts 48 hours. It is an invite only group, but that doesn't mean it's exclusive. It just means that we would love it to be the folks that love to talk about rocks and not spam and trawl. And so that's the only reason why that. And so if one of the wrenches wouldn't mind popping up an address to that invite, that would be super awesome. Ryan's on it like that, like bam. And these moderators that you see here are also moderators over there. So we're all hanging out, having discussions. It's not just the competitions. There's plenty to do over there on the Discord that we hope that you will join us with. And tonight we have let's see, we have this beautiful amount of things to share with you. Let's get this down. We have that. There's our guest tonight that might look familiar to some of you. That was our thumbnail and opener. We have the beautiful, the marvelous Boulder opal and the Amazonite from Theo, and that is the news. So on with the show. We got a parcel of the Boulder opals from the fella that we were all introduced to through Jeff. Let's get that up there. And the pixels will settle down. Also, let me just take this moment to apologize for the pixelization that it seemed like it lasted for about 10-15 minutes on last live. That was 2 weeks ago. I can't see it. I don't watch the replay in real time or the broadcast in real time. I just see what the platform is letting me see. So I didn't know it was that bad for that long. So I really, really appreciate all of you that held on long enough to see your way into actually being able to see me, because it was rather pixely for a long time. You know, attention span theater being what it is, you guys lasted for like 11 or 13 minutes or something like that, not even being able to see. I looked like a really bad bit rate video game. So We've got copper pennies being worth roughly 3 cents. You got to think that that's, a, a large percentage over what they were originally worth. So that's a pretty steep hike if you want to look at it. And that opal guy is saying Morgan silver dollar, wow, uh, is 600,017 and 980. My gosh, yes. Hold off on melting that bad boy down. I'm gonna have to go through and see if we have any of those lying about. Got some books that are that old, but not any coins, I don't think. And once again, thank you, Brian or Ryan, for posting the Discord address. And join the server one of these days. Caleb is one of the pivotal wrenches over there, by the way. And the showcase looks completely different. I actually meant to say something about this when I put that up. And so what that is about is when you have these different formats like the iPad, your phone, and then if you're reaching out on the Discord on a PC or something like that, these are all going to look totally different to you. And so yeah, I'm always interested when I see screenshots from other devices because it looks so different to what we have going on. And so yeah, definitely looking different. And thank you, Vicky. These cabs, let's talk about them. Karen Cart. I'm sorry. I'm flying through the comments so that I can, in the chat so that we can play with these. And so what I should be doing is at the very least, there's my hand. It's giant. These are so slick. I'm having trouble picking them up. Uh, we've got the boulder opals. This is a nut, a yawa nut. And there we go. Trying to not hold it too close and not hold it so far away that you're not seeing the color that's going on in there. And Yawas can be a real interesting ride, I will say, because they are worth working with because of the patterns. I love the patterns and I love the little gullies where you find your color. There's some way back up there, like with some blue and some pink. And then the downside is that they have the tendency to they can be not all that willing to hold together. And so sometimes they can be tricky. I'm sorry that you're still not feeling well. I do hope that you are on the men's side or at least on the relaxing side of your sore throat, darling. So, anyways, I worked this one without putting it on a dop. That's about as small as I like to go without being on a dop. That one next door to it turned out to be almost just potch, but we're looking at the very, very first stones that I had a chance to polish in 2026. So I thought I would share them with you, and I couldn't wait to get to them. I was feeling pretty rotten myself, Vicky, and it was worth getting into my opals and the Amazonite. As you guys know from the last video that I was unboxing these, oh, look at all of those lovely fingerprints that I had all this new material to play with, and yet had, the holidays, but also not the feels. And I think that the rock knows and might not treat you to the very best time. What am I saying? that you don't want your icky energy going into the rock, I don't think. I did have one of the yawa nuts actually fall apart in my hand, and I was like, maybe maybe without being too woo woo about it, maybe I need to step back. So I like this one. It's got these funny lakes of the clay right in the middle of the unicorn puddle, but I love how the ironstone did that cool little circle. And so this turned out to be a really fun one to polish because of the composition. And we're going to look at some of the rough as well. We've got Boulder opal on the display right now. Yawa is considered a subset of the Boulder opal, and Boulder opal is my favorite of the opals. Funny thing about that is that Theo and I were just talking about this earlier today, how they are kind of low on the totem pole with the Australians as far as they're concerned. But I find them to be some of the most beautiful, pardon me, opals on the planet. And here's why. This is dry, and I'm about to make it wet, but you don't even have to. Uh-oh, what's going on there? Got a little freeze, and hopefully that's not all pixelated now. But they do the color dance in a different way to me than any of the other opals do. And yes, they're an ironstone, but I really, really like the ironstone too. You saw those yawas. Look at how pretty the ironstone presents. Now, the reason why I have a dark color of nail polish on, and when I turned my fingers over just now, you saw that that iron does stain you like henna, as Mus said a little earlier today also. And so, yeah, there's some drawbacks to working with it, but it's so, so, so incredible. And we have Jerry coming in with the news that prices are rising on Boulder. They have been. They used to be so much easier to get your hands onto. And, it's kind of like everything else. But I don't mind them attaining respect as they should, because to me, they are definitely a stellar opal. And the fact that you get these wonderful, almost like gothic stained glass windowed areas, in the breccia or in the veining, if one way or the other with this sedimentary rock was how that stuff ended up there. I think it's a treat. It's always fun to chase the color bars through the Boulder Opal to me. And so this one is not going to be any different. It's a pleasure to work with the blues and the purples and the greens. And then you guys all know that we do love the reds. The reds and the purples, or the pinks and the oranges, a little less common, but very, very desirable in opals. You have to work really hard to get those colors in some of the different other opals. So, who decided that Boulder opal was some kind of redheaded stepchild? And in this case, if it's got red hair, then we love it. We love it even more. So I'm going to make this one wet really quick while we look at Caleb's comment here. Yawa nuts are the most insane to me. The patterns are incredible. Yeah, so it's worth taking the gamble part to me. And honestly, for what I paid for these parcels, these were gamble rough. I didn't pay very much. I was sticking my toe into kind of, if you will, do like a test run to see, what I might get for my money. And I believe I said it on the last live stream, after just taking a quick look at these opals, I decided that I will buy from him again. And I will spend more money to make sure that I'm getting stuff that I won't have to try really hard to have work well. Uh, less cracking, uh, more opal, because there's nothing worse. And I know some of you have been having these kinds of experiences too. And sometimes it's the handling of the polisher. Sometimes it is the handling of the shipper. Sometimes it's the handling of whoever was putting it up in the warehouse. Sometimes it just came out of the seam that way. But the Australian opals are typically best solid and typically not crazed unless they came crazed. And so, boy, it is a huge bummer when you go through the polishing process with one. I selected this guy to have some fun with. And because we've got the round light, it's not doing the colors any justice on this is like white body with some see if I can get it at all. White body with some rather nice color flashing through there. And it does have a crack right there that didn't reveal itself until I was on my cerium. And I use water with my cerium, and this guy stayed cool the whole time. So I'm pretty sure I didn't cajole that crack up. Plus, I've worked quite a bit of Boulder Opal. This is being my favorite of the opals, and I still got rewarded with that poor little crack in there. So I don't know. That one either will have to be cut back, like split into two. Maybe it's not savable. And in that case, it would probably be more of like a specimen giver, make somebody's day type thing. And Ma is waxing poetic here. The contrast is what does it for me. It's such a lovely juxtaposition between the opal and the ironstone. And I have to agree with you 100% on that. It's it's stunning to me. And I love, like, if you want to say, like plain cloud dancer or whatever to some of the white opals, like the Cooper Petty and that sort of thing. Sure. Those are incredible and beautiful, and every single one is different, just like how every single one is different from the Yawas or the regular boulders and the every lightning ridge, all of the different variety that you're looking at. But the uniqueness is on steroids with the Boulder opals for sure, to me, and that contrast and all the fun. And we've got, I even like the small pieces that I got from Les and Cheryl that I contour polished, not large opal patches, but the host rock is still nice too. And that's just exactly it. There are people who, polish the ironstones, right? And so if you weren't expecting to see opal in your Yawa or in your ironstone, then maybe you would have just been happy with that beautiful patterning. Like I think I was showing you the backside of this one, which doesn't show a whole lot of opal on the back, but just a tiny bit of like the green. You can see it in those patches. But look at what a pretty design dance. What a pretty pattern this one is by itself. We just get like our knickers in a twist if it's supposed to be an opal and there isn't a whole bunch of opal there. But as a stone, is that not gorgeous? So in some ways, the iron stone of the Boulder opal is very rewarding in and of itself. I have to agree. And Caleb is saying, I cut my teeth cutting opals in my early days, Dremel and sandpaper, which is a hard way to go and very, very hard on your teeth, but bump. But yeah, I mean, a great entry level stone to polish is the opal. It has a high reward and it is, softer. So therefore it's not going to take quite as much elbow grease as long as you don't put some serious subsurface scratches in the very beginning. It'll do an easier polish job for you by hand. And we've got Rick. I may have gone a little spendy at the last sale. Jerry, by the way, the clam I was talking about, I was thinking maybe polishing first. Not a whole lot visible, not a whole lot of visible sand on the exterior. So you're gonna polish the clam. Oh my gosh, that would be something I would probably like. At least one of them should go in the case as a fossil as is. Would be very, very cool. And the ironstone polish is so pretty, and when it has that Koroit pattern, love them. Yes, I would have to agree with you there. Just as long as that stuff is holding together. I literally had one fall apart in my hand last night, and tears ensued. Thank you, Jeff, for the comment. And Jerry saying those deals you can't pass. And that is true. And that is true. And so, especially considering that the opals are on this side already, you're not having to worry about some of the extra money involved with having to import things right now. Claude is truly amazing, is what Jerry is saying, and I would have to agree that I am happy that we get to correspond with Claude. That there's a cache of some good stuff there to get our opal madness fix through. Boulder Opals will take you to Willy Wonka factory, turn you orange like a company Loompa. Yeah, absolutely. I was feeling that Oompa Loompa song coming on for sure. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of you guys are experiencing opal. Some of you are very experienced with opal, working with it, and some of you are experiencing it for the first time. And so I thought I would share some of the strategies and let everybody kind of do a forum here on how you would go about cutting some of these. It's not straightforward because some of the color bars are not also kind of like the fire obsidian that we watch Kyle contemplate. So here we've got a nice piece of purple and blue, and I reckon that there's probably some other flash in there, but one would have to decide what they're going to save and what they're going to sacrifice on a stone like this, just dependent on how thick you wanted it. So one way to go about it would be to face that color bar right there. So we're going to rub that down. And as far as vernacular goes, if you've got an opal that has been taken to a wheel to see what's going on in it, some would call that windowing, some would call that a rub. It just depends on who you're talking to. In the opal world, definitely a rub. And so I would see about like getting to the color on this one. And then I would see how much I have left of the meat down here. That might not be savable. It would be cool if it was. And one of the things about the Boulder opals is you've got a very big variety of terrain. And so you might contour polish instead of taking it to a wheel if you've got too much like up and down. It is okay in the marketplace of Boulder opal to have even a concave surface on a quote unquote cabochon, a finished gem. And so it's worth saving the material and getting the most of that and having an odd shape or topography for your opal than trying to just muscle your way into a cabochon shape and dome. A lot of times especially when you have a seam opal such as the boulder opal, your dome would actually lose some of your color bar. And if you can, it's nice to frame your color uh, on the top. And so it's interesting to see how different people will strategize with the boulder opals. And I would love to hear uh what other people, how are you going about your more difficult children, the trouble child? There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Leonard Cohen said that. Thank you so much, Eric the cat. I like that. And Lisa's here just in time to gaze upon some purple opal material. Not the worst thing that you could dial in for a Friday night, right, Lisa? I hope that you're feeling better and well, and happy new year to you. And we will do another live with Claude probably late January, early February, give folks time to recover financially from the holidays. That sounds super cool. We'll have to chat like whatever Friday. Let's have a look at the calendar here really quick, shall we? I'll be doing probably my live on Friday night. Oh, my calendar won't come up during while I'm looking at this platform. But at any rate, yeah, that last Friday, I'll go, but it would be super cool. Like I can front announce, advertise for you guys if you're doing it, say during the weekend or something like that. That would be super cool to collaborate as far as timing goes with that. That's great news that we have that to look forward to. I can't wait. I will definitely be getting more. I meant to mention last week, probably because there wasn't a live. Did you know Amazonite prices produces antimatter? I did not know that. I, I will look forward to finding out more about that. The Amazonite produces antimatter. Okay. Um, let's see. And here's another thing though. You can always email Claude at any time. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, if you have opal needs, rat meow, then definitely just go ahead and reach out and see if he's got what you need. So we played with that one. Let's have a look at this guy. We've got some nice green flash. Let's rotate it around so that we can see what's going on. So this one's going to be another one like some of those others that I showed straight up at the very beginning, right after the cabs. It's kind of a no-brainer on how you would go about getting their color worked out. You're going to shape that bad boy, and you're going to hope that you don't have fractures and that the most of the color survives when you're shaping it. Isn't that a Zappa song? Polishing the clam? Indeed. Right. Don't mention teeth. It makes Karen start to drool. Yeah. There's a Pavlovian response in there. It'll make that root get upset again. Uh you saw the other one I purchased from Claude's sale, Karen. It was Butamus. Yeah, you absolutely scored so well. Definitely had some jealousy going on watching that go by for sure. Thank you, Doug. It's good to see you. The ruby nail polish is actually which is already scratched. Goodness gracious, it's hard to keep that going on with rock fingernails. But yeah, that's covering up my beautiful Oompa Loompa stain job from the ironstone. So we carry on. We see that the color bar goes on that plane right there and bloops along over there. We don't know how thick it is, but it doesn't look terribly thick. And we've got like a little droop there, but that's probably not going to be savable. We're looking at this plane right here, right? So we're going to rub that off and try to very, very carefully sneak up on that. And hopefully, this is when you see if there's there's any cracks and stuff like that. Now, one of the things that I also see on this stone is that over here on the other side, we have a through and through, like there's a puddle right there. You can see that 0 or that circle that's wrapped around the tip of the triangle there is another puddle. Is it savable? Don't know. There is a hollow there. That's not a good sign. But one of the things that you could do is, because of how fat this stone is, we could cut it so that that gives plenty of room for that to become a cabochon there, all the way around. No problem. Got plenty of room to cut that down. So this is basically cutting it in half, giving this little guy a chance. So we could rub that down and find out too. So hopefully that made sense. This might be 2 stones, even though this little guy might be a tiny stone. Think of how many accent stones you might lose if you just dis discard. You could always, if you get down to it and it's not generous enough, you could make that into some pebbles that you put into a slot ring and, cover over. Uh, Use it in inlay, whatever. And so that is what I will do. And if I'm feeling up to it, I will be doing that with you guys. So I was promising you guys through the live sale that I'm getting things set up so that I can bring you guys into the laboratory. And so this is part of what I would love to share with you guys, is actually going through some of the processes. If you're looking down the barrel of a boulder opal and you don't know what approach might be best, it so helps to see how other people tackle the hurdle. So that's what we'll be doing. Ghost of Gaia is here. This is great to see you. This is my first time seeing boulder opal. I'm swooned. Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna ring the bell for another opal madness victim right now. Yeah, this stuff is drop dead gorgeous. And so what I'm building now is I'm going to be working on adding these cabochons to the herd of cabs that I will be selecting from to make the Valentine collection. And so this month is going to be all about playing with this material, and then you'll see these characters get set into some jewelry. These two here in the middle, right quick. I'm in love with those two. And then this one, either needs to be cut down, or you guys will see it on the live stream as a gift. It'll be, part of the giveaway or something like that, because since it's cracked, if it's not salvageable, then it becomes something wonderful to look at, but not appropriate for jewelry. And so, like break my heart in two. Okay, what's going on with this guy? Not all of the creatures are created equal. So some of them are, you're going to have a look at it and you're not even going to know what to do. Is it something that I want to spend my time with? Because these jars that you buy, or a baggie, if you're at a gem show, maybe you get to choose all the little pieces that you get, but a lot of times you're going to get a better deal if you're buying a parcel, and a lot of times there's going to be some gamble rough in there. And so here's a really, really good example of some gamble rough. We've got like a little face there, and I can tell right away why it showed up in my bag, is that somebody else didn't want to have to deal with this. And so being the challenge taker that I am, I'll have a good time trying to work with this guy. Let's get it wet to see if it's got some possible talent in there to reveal. Bring this back. And so we've got some purple. I have to find out if that's a fracture going through it right there. Yeah. Right there doesn't do you guys a whole lot of good since my fingernail can't really show you. But about halfway through, you see a white line there. If that's a fracture, then we're done. If it's not, then I'll pursue that color patch. And once again, sneaking up, like I'll probably start on the 600, or maybe even, like a 600 or a 1200, and sneak up slow, guys. If you're new, sneak up really slow, and you don't want to use your harsher wheels, or if you're using a lap, don't use your harsh laps. Like if you typically have a 220 or a 240 or a 280 or a 320, or anything lower than that, you don't want to use those on account that the subsurface scratches that you will introduce might go all the way through your color bar, or they might be really, really hard for you to get out and you lose a lot of stone. And we're already going to lose a lot of stone because this matrix isn't all created equal either. So some of it's really soft and fugitive, whereas other will hold together and make the most amazing, beautiful rest of the stone for you. So it can be part of the gem or it can be complete trash. And that's the gamble. And I like to gamble. I will not go gamble at a casino, but I'll gamble with opals all day, like my whole life. Like I was born for this. So, oh dear, we're talking about grave robbers and all sorts of crazy stuff here. I am trying to catch up. Phil is, we're having a, Opal Holics Anonymous meeting right now. Dad, nice to meet you. I have developed an opal addiction. Yeah, Phil, I totally hear that. It's so easy. And it looks like Chris is here. Good to see you, Chris. And Amanda's Funny Farm, welcome in. Thank you for coming also. Boulder Opal Virgin. Opal Virgin. I love that. That's pretty hilarious. And yeah, this is actually why I ever went to Tucson in the beginning. I used to go to San Mateo when I cut my teeth on gem shows, and we had a dealer that would come to San Mateo, but always had a way better collection at the Tucson show, and that was a drive. San Mateo was way closer, and so then after I went to my first Tucson show, I moved. Like, no, I didn't move right after that, but it only took a few Tucson shows before I decided that I needed to move to Tucson permanently. And yeah, here we are, like all wishing that we were rich so that we could just toss all of the coin we wanted to down on silver, gold, and opals. That would be my happy place. And 600 does not eat the opal fast. That's like where you would begin sneaking up on it. But with bolder opal, sometimes the orange for the Yawas that I got, the orange was so fugitive. And so I'll pick this guy up and the other one. I love how slippery they are. You can see even when I turn it to the light how the parts that are the yellow gold, when they marry with the iron, then they take the polish. But these guys in the middle that were coming up through the unicorn puddle are matte. They will not take a polish. And that also was the material that fell apart when the nut like literally just crumbled in half while I was rubbing it. And I was like, okay, you don't want to. Here's an example. I didn't take this to the full polish because the parts that had the opal were, and I think that we might have a little pixelation. Hopefully that's clearing up. But the parts that had the opal were cracking out, and so it kept on getting smaller and smaller. You can see a little bit of that, perhaps, if it's not too pixely. You can kind of see like the holes, if you will, in the ironstone where the opal was freeing itself. It was completely just liberating itself. And then there was this like big pool of potch right in the middle. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're just not going to be worth it. And so, the Yawas can just misbehave in so many different ways, but you can see that the iron just took a great polish on this one. And here's the back. And so I didn't finish that too, but you can see that those are the concentric circles of the nut part. So that was the back of the nut. And as far as, the polishing quickness, the 600 ate that gold stuff up really pronto. It was mud and it was gone so fast at 600. And then when I started getting to the iron, then you start having it solidify and it starts kind of pushing back a little bit, which is really what you want to find so that you don't have a fugitive stone that you're going to set into jewelry. Because obviously, if mine is going to have, the end result is going to be a stone that goes into a necklace or earrings. Usually I don't set opals. I will set some opals into rings, but you have to be very careful because rings and bracelets get bashed into a lot of things, bashed into countertops and car doors and things like that, very inadvertently. It's not like you're trying, but you have to be careful on the kind of setting and where you set them so that they're supported. But even still, you don't want, if the person drops their piece of jewelry, like you have a necklace and you drop it on your tile floor, you don't want it to fall apart before their very eyes. And so making sure that your stones aren't fugitive, very, very important. Indeed. Right. If you are rich, you just collect. Yeah. I think that they call that hoarding, actually, resort dog. And I do believe that I would be quite the opal hoarder if allowed to, in any way, shape, or form. Now, I believe that it's very possible that this is another piece of what birthed this little guy here. My triangle cab there, it looked a whole lot like this when I got started. And so that makes me a little fearful. You can see where the quality of the opal right here on the top changes. And you can see where it changes over there in that other piece. Like there's that little pull down at the bottom, and then there's a bigger pull up towards the top that has some orange in it and everything. And that is how this is looking. It might even be the other side. So fingers crossed that this one doesn't have crazing inside it too. It very well could. So I'll rub this down and I will see if this big glob tabularity here on the top is going to merit color and or opal. And then I will go from there. It looks like there's some spectacular gel going on over here in this corner, which that lower part of the little candy corn down there has, that actually changes color in the gel fashion, or crystal opal, instead of it having the flashy color like your pinfire or the flagstone or whatever. It's not that kind of color. It's just the body color is changes to the tonality, which I absolutely love when opal does that. And what's fun about boulder opal is it can do all of the above. All of the things that any kinds of opals do, other than hydrophane, the boulder opals will do. So that's one of the reasons why they're my favorite. It's not hoarding if it's agates. My t-shirt says so. Well, I need a t-shirt that says such things about opals, and then I will feel completely uh relaxed about my habit. Thank you for that, Jeff. Does anyone stabilize boulder to harden the fugitive areas? Yes. Yes, you can. Um, and there are plenty of people that do and feel fine about it. When you market it, you just have to make sure that everybody knows that it has been stabilized, just like with anything else. If it's turquoise or variscite or any of the other minerals that you might use a stabilizer with, it's frowned upon in some circles. And when you say solid opal, then you know uh untreated natural is what part of the market would want. But if that doesn't matter to you, if you're not worried about it being quote unquote valuable in that marketable way, then you get to do what you want with your rocks, whatever makes you feel good. And it would make a nut stay together, if you've got the right setup as far as that's concerned too. And so at any rate, yeah, I would say that there's a really good possibility that I've got a fracture in that. So I'd have to rub it and see what's going on with that there. But we've got a lot of other stuff, a lot more glass going through this stone. And so there's other parts that I can salvage. In fact, if I wanted to, I can go ahead and shear this in half, and I can deal with this half and I can deal with that half. And I'm likely to get some beautiful midnight, unicorn puddle in that. And I would be happy with that. And there's even this whole area here on the corner. And so this actually could, if you wanted to parse it right there, then you could have three stones. This one is questionable if you were trying to go for that one, but I would probably sacrifice this one here on top for that one, after finding out that it was not only cracked, but that yellow part maybe not having some good color in it. So I think what flashing we see is probably fracture. And so anyways, that would be my strategy. What would you do? And looks like Rufotris is still taking care of sick wife. Oh no. Got home from shopping and now cooking some dinner. I'm sorry that your wife isn't feeling good. It does seem like a lot of people are under the weather right now. So, everybody, make sure to take care of your loved ones, take care of yourself, and let's all Steinkern to our health. That is something that I did leave out for our New Year's Steinkern. So, cheers to you and your health. All right. I'm seeing some pretty cool questions and banter going on in the chat. And so thank you guys for your interactivity going on here. And we have this. What is the price range between stabilized versus solid? I can tell you, I haven't been out, say, like to Gem Show to find out, like head to head, what it looks like. Things change year to year. I think stabilized has a lot more acceptability than it used to. It used to be much, much less valuable. Much. I think that in the turquoise world and in the like opal and anywhere else that you might find stabilization, it's come into a lot more acceptability. And that might have a lot to do with different minerals having less accessibility, and so people are going, well, we can't get it at all, so I would rather have something that was stabilized than say nothing at all type thing. In the jewelry world, in the jewelry market, it makes a huge difference. And so if I set a stabilized gem as opposed to a natural gem, my piece of jewelry goes from being potentially an heirloom and a fine piece of jewelry to being something more along the lines of a costume piece of jewelry. And so you also have to make those decisions too. Um, so that's a twofold answer, just dependent on what and who your market is. And I think that in the jewelry world, some of that has relaxed a little bit too. But in the fine world, you're not going to find it. And there's a median place where art jewelry and unique pieces might have some leeway, and then there would be a place where anything like that would just kind of be considered um, on the costume side, and that's not it's not dissonant. It's beautiful. I've worn them, but yeah, knowing got to know who you're doing business with as far as that's concerned. In many ways, it does make it more durable. So like you could probably toss something that's got like some pretty solid stabilizer in it, onto your finger or something like that. And so that's just something to consider up and down the scale of what it is that you intend to do with your stone. So, and I also saw something right before that. I like this. Rub the genie nut and see what comes out. Wouldn't that be fantastic if all of the unicorns that make the rainbow puddles came out of the Yawa nuts? I think I'll rub the nuts that I have left, and like you guys can all just let that one go. Just let it go. Let it go. All right, we'll take that down. All right, yeah. So, anyways, that's like probably I was just hand drifting and showing you a few different stones with a few different ways of trying to make some sausage or skin the cat or whatever. Um, let's see. And I'm trying to make heads and tails from this, but I would imagine that you're saying that there may be 1/10 of the value. I'm not entirely sure because like a lot of the different opals are handled differently. And so if you have a doublet or a triplet of Lightning Ridge, it's probably going to like land on the market in a different place than say a Spencer doublet or triplet. And so I think that is a qualifier that really matters. So let's get another toughie up here. These are all, by the way, the boulders, they were all from the same parcel. And so it was like I have some little shrapnel that's left that I'll have to just dop up and see what I can get out of it. But like I said, all of that was in a little baggie, and so I feel like I really got what I paid for, even though I'm gonna have to work for some of it. But basically, if I sell one stone in a piece, then it has paid for it. So I don't feel bad about it. Although it's going to take some man hours, we got to add that to its value, right? And so we've got this guy here, and we see some color bars going around. We have that little guy that goes around that way, and it splits. So there's one going that way down the edge, and this way over here. We've got what looks like a pool. And so if I remove this corner, then it's very likely that now we're looking down the front of the lake, right? And the lake would proceed down the line towards my back finger there. And so that would be one oh, there's some pretty emerald green down there. Look at that. I like that. So that would be probably what I would think was important about this stone right there. And I don't know, that's a very nice fat bar there. And so just dependent on what I would have to cut to make that be its own stone, then there is the possibility for this guy here. But I don't see that being a through and through, so who knows where that ends. You know, the luckiest approach on this one. I'm sorry, I was like way over here, like bye-bye. Would be to, you know, rub that first and see if I get like, you know, a beautiful oceanic goes with my Amazonite perfectly kind of stone right there. You know, there's going to be some Amazonite and opal pairings for the next jewelry drop, right? I mean, are you seeing this, camera guy? Are you seeing this, camera guy? We've got the ocean in that gem, and we've got the ocean back there in the Amazonite. So I can't wait to pair some of these, because you know those opal colors, you know, that this little guy right here is doing such a cool job, you know, marrying some of those colors together too. And so yowza, that's going to be some good. So let me get caught up here, and we will talk about some of um the Amazonite. I just want to make sure I'm not missing. Do I want to live in the fine world, or the kind of fine world? Well, see, now that's different. That's art. And so, you know, if you've done a lot of manipulation to a stone, that is you're in a different class, you know, and that's that middle area where you could be on fine. But if somebody's say done an intarsia piece, and then, you know, you've set it in fine gold, and it's you know, finished out in an artful way, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine jewelry. It's just like you have to watch it with the stabilized gems. That's all I'm saying. So I would say that art is different than just doing something so that you chemically enhance a stone so that it stays together. Some of the Puritans will clutch their pearls on that one. How's that? Um, and yeah, you know, what it looks like and do you like it is all that really counts. And that's when I owned my own art gallery, that was really what I had to tell people when they would ask about the value of artwork. You know, sure, this artist is asking this much and this other artist is asking that much, but at the end of the day, are you buying it as an investment, or are you buying it because you love it? And if you love it, then the price doesn't matter. Like, buy the artwork. You know, do you want it for your wall? Is that what you want? And so same too with the gem, whole gem landscape. Are you looking at these because there's some kind of an investment, or because you want to have an inherent value? Is it going to be an heirloom piece? Do you want to pass it on to a family member, et cetera, and so forth? You know, is it about like the artistic draw to you, the aesthetic draw to you, like some of these other questions? Then it just doesn't matter. Yeah, you love it, get it. I had like this outstanding watch, and it was synthetic opal on the watch band, but it was so dang cool. And it was back when synthetic opal, for me anyway, was definitely frowned upon, but I got it anyway. And we have Ghost of Gaia. Karen, I wanted to say that I really love the triopic blast facets you did in your shorts. Those are spectacular. Could that be done with a boulder opal? That's a great question, and thank you for asking. I have a lot of people that ask me about faceting opal and also faceting other stones that they haven't seen be faceted before. And I'll tell you why. Because the facets in the bottom of a faceted gem in the pavilion, which is that like the cone at the bottom, I could probably do this for this. That cone in the bottom is supposed to reflect light back up through the crown, and that's why to facet the gem that way. And so, in that regard, the boulder opal is opaque at the bottom most of the time. The boulder is still there, and that's why it gets to be boulder opal. And so, it wouldn't make sense to facet the bottom because it would just be a coned, it would be an ice cream cone, which would be cute and cool, but it wouldn't do a faceting job. So when somebody cuts the bottom flat and facets the top, like just the crown and the girdle, or maybe even just, say it's a round, smooth girdle, but the crown is faceted, then you have a rose cut. And it's conceivable that if you had enough material on the top that you could rose cut it, and you could most certainly rose cut other opals. And you could most certainly facet some of those other opals too. So the boulder, not so much. You could rose cut. So you could facet the top of a boulder opal, and that would make it fancy. But most of the time it's not done because you're losing, if you have a pattern that you're trying to facet, then you very well could be losing material that would benefit the color of the opal. So most of the time, the approach to polishing or cutting and polishing an opal is the most conservative route to be able to conserve the most of the gem as possible. With clear Wellow opals or Ethiopian opals, you can facet those, and they can transmit color through them, and they can transmit light through them because a lot of those are clear, and those are the ones that you would want to facet. I hope that wasn't too long or belabored of an explanation, but I get asked a lot, and so I really appreciate being able to answer that question. So I don't facet opaque gems because it doesn't matter that the bottom is faceted. Maybe rose cut it, but not so much the whole facet job. But thank you. And that triopic blast is my absolute favorite. And I will be faceting some new gems for the Valentine's drop. And there will probably be, by popular demand, let's cross our fingers. Hopefully there will be some faceted gems also available to get at that live sale, because you guys just definitely responded in a positive way about getting the faceted ones. All right, so let's see. Is this a question for me? Do you doublet, triplet some of those stones as well as single stone? For me personally, I have never done a doublet or a triplet for a boulder opal. And so the boulder on the bottom, underneath the ribbon of the color. Let's bring up an example again. Great question. I think that was for me. And sorry, pixels will settle down. But the backing that you would make a doublet for. So when you make a doublet stone, those of you out there that are listening, and I'm sorry, this is pixelated, but hopefully it'll just settle down here in a bit. You're backing the stone so that either it gives it more strength, or that it's got something dark behind it or light behind it, a color change of some kind to be able to enhance the top. So in the case of boulder opal, there's already the enhancing bottom. We all love enhancing bottoms, right? And so it's there already. If I was going to cut that little beautiful lake right there, I would cut it with, 5-6 millimeters to start off with underneath, and probably just clean it up from there. And so you can see, like, cut it there and then finish the top. It's its own doublet, if that makes sense. If you felt like you needed to put something protective over the top of it, then in that case, you would have to flatten it. Does flattening it enhance this particular boulder opal, or would that be better contour carved because it's got that topography? And I'll answer my own question. It would be better contour carved so that you could save as much of the opal as possible. So it's not a good candidate for putting a quartz topper on, because you would have to shave off so much of it to make it flat, so that you could make it into a triplet. So like more of that waterline style color bar that you get from Spencer, where it's perfectly straight, is a great candidate for a quartz top or a triplet top. And so it's already got its doublet bottom, though you don't consider it that because it's not a foreign bottom. We love foreign bottoms too, not being exclusive. But yeah, and then it's just a lot of the time it doesn't make sense to, I would want to dome that top. You can see that I've domed the top of these other guys, even the one that was mostly the opal. If this had not had an issue, then it would be a standard cabochon. In fact, a chunky one at that. This one was going to be a chunky enough matrix cabochon that it would probably have been okay to put in something that saw a little bit more rugged use, but then it came pre-cracked. So nobody has to crack that one. I found it that way. So hopefully that answers the question. I love it when I answer a question that wasn't asked, that they were asking something different. Oh dear. Thank you so much for joining us, Rick, and hanging out for this long. And Mutt, you should not be insulted, but it is just a matter of different categorizations. But like I said, your work is artwork, and so that kind of goes into a different complete bucket and not just a category. And high zoot one at that, I should clarify. And okay, good. She was just teasing anyway. As sometimes you have to walk through the minefield on some of these things, just making sure that people that work stones differently don't feel like there's some kind of an issue one way or the other. But the market is the market, is the market, is the market. And I'm not one that loves following rules nor making them, but it's not a good thing to be surprised by them if you don't know that they exist. So I like to know what's up. And it helps me very much when I market my jewelry to know, just depending on who I'm trying to market it to. Okay, so we've got this Amazonite, and this Amazonite, I want to say one last time, thank you, Claude, for the parcel. This is just my Boulder Opal parcel. Sometimes that's really hard to say, like I got rocks in my mouth. And there's the Yawa nut parcel that I also got. When we go live to do some polishing, I can show that one off too, but I wanted to make sure that there was time enough for both kinds of stone here. So our good friend Theo Kellison, channel name same, went and actually mined this up in Colorado at Pikes Peak on his onesie, like hiked down with all this material, and did share some of it with me. And this one is neat because it's got some of the native mica in it too. So some of the inclusions that you see in this stuff is really, really impressively cool. The color is natural, so that's insane. I believe it's potassium. I don't know that that Theo's here, and so maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a feldspar. And so how I love my feldspars very, very much. If opal wasn't my favorite mineral, sunstone probably would be. And it's one of the feldspars, as well as our moonstones and our labradorites. So you think about the things that you love out there, and if it's chatoyant, there's a good chance that it might fall into that feldspar category. So we've got Amazonite as a feldspar as well, and it is chatoyant. And so if you get it on the right, I'm like just sort of getting it right now on this stone. It lines with one of its cleavage lines a lot. And so when you are getting ready to cut this stuff, you need to pay attention to the cleavage lines. Otherwise, you get a very richly colored, beautiful rock. And so, just like the ironstone, if you didn't know that there were more goodies in that pinata, you would be happy. You would be just fine with a couple pieces of candy on the ground. But because you know that if you cut it right, opal and Amazonite, both of them included, you get more treats. And so, yeah, you wanna pound it with a stick even harder. The pinata, that is. So here's the first one of the Amazonites that I cut. And it decided to be this fantastic freeform cabochon, and it had some quartz inclusion right there. So I had a slightly irregular edge, and I didn't care because I'm going to set this one myself, probably. I don't know. It was the firstliest I ever did. So I don't know. I might even just keep it. And it's got this really cool inclusion. So, like I said, it's the Amazonite has all these different really, really neat inclusions that make it kind of special. And so, just opposite, and Ryan actually brought this up to me, just opposite of your opals, you have like this fantastic fracture finish that I'm sure some of you are familiar with after working with labradorite a lot. You get a crackle finish with a lot of that too. And it's not it's part of its charm, whereas if we had this crackle finish on an opal, we would be crying. So it's really interesting. We have Magnetic North Adventures joining us. Thank you so much for swinging in and hanging out with us. And oh yes, we do. We love all of the opals. And I even love the ones without like the ones without the flash, called fire opal. I love. And so yeah, there's just so much opal out there to love and to learn, how to kind of dance with the mineraloid in the best way, for sure. And we have my dad buys the Ethiopia rough, and man, is it nice. Yeah, we do love playing with our Ethiopian opal friends. Those are just a little freaky though, because they might burst on you, and they're hydrophane, so they do a different color change, opacity change, I should say. And good to see you. Happy New Year, Mr. Kai. Thank you for coming. And I'm sorry, I'm obviously catching up while we're gazing at this here Amazonite. Okay, I'm definitely behind, but shoot, you know how I feel about your work. It's top notch, top of the shelf, and so yeah, definitely fine. And so, let's see, we've got very cool. Some of this accidentally got in my rock tumbler and got thoroughly wrecked. Oh no. Yeah, yeah. So this is a softer gemstone. I believe it's a 6 to a 6.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. And so you definitely, it's over there with a lot of the quartz. And so if you see this particular individual in a lineup, then put it aside with some of your softer materials. Yes, potassium feldspar. Thank you so much for keeping me honest. Sometimes you got so much going through your head, you're like, ah. I love that y'all can be my brain training wheels, and that way we don't fall down. Okay, so at any rate, yeah, this one is not cut to the right angle to get a whole bunch of chatoyance. It's got some at the top if I hold it just right. I can't remember which is the top that you can see some of it, but my other one will. But what happened with this guy is that it was a long, flat sheet already. It was basically ready to become a cabochon already. And so those of you who have seen Schiller sunstones, sometimes the Schiller is like right there, and you're like, huh, okay. I could cut like a 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter stone, or I could just cut a big sunstone, and if they turn it, then they can see the shoulder. So sometimes you got to make the executive decisions on this stuff. And so I'll bring this guy over. And this one is the second one that I've had a chance to cut because, you know, the holidays and having some family in town and everything didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. This one was also in our beginning video, and because of the ring light, I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get it to shine. You saw it just roll past like this little triangle mountain thing actually is a big bunch of the where the kind of that fibrous crystal habit makes it be chatoyant, but I am having a heck of a time. Maybe we need the gemfish because this diffuse light that's coming from all angles is definitely discombobulating the poor feldspar. Let's see if we can't make it dance a little for us. And meanwhile, we'll look at the chat and make sure I'm not terribly behind. Dendrite opal is awesome also, definitely. And Lisa, you actually gave me a great big piece of Amazonite, and I really appreciate that from you. It looks like a piece of soap. It looks like a piece of like Irish Spring that glitters. It's so crazy. It's a very cool palm stone. Can I do this? I'm asking you guys, can I do this? Oh, it's wrong way around. And we'll just all go back to the beginning and watch the beginning for the chatoyant, see if I can't make this work. I better get this trick down before, well, I'm probably not going to sell any of these guys unset because this is some pricey stuff. But yeah, okay. Like my little triangle there is doing it. Let's see if we can get it closer. And now it's just like blowing out the camera. This is good to know. This is good to know. It's not ugly. And one of the things that my brother, who was staying while I was, doting over this stuff, thought this was fake at first. You got to be kidding. Okay, let's see if. So also some of this is so gemmy that it is clear. This one, not so much, but you can see some of these. See how gemmy that is? There. See if I can backlight it again. Yeah. So it's kind of like that, like chrysoprase or something like that in some of the material, and then other of it is a little bit more opaque, and it's very, very sinuous in its look. Here is the piece that Lisa actually shared with me, and I put it underneath the microscope. And yes, zest. Or Irish Spring or something. Yeah, it's crazy. But I wanted to give you guys a nice close look. The crystal habit has such a freaky deaky sinuous look to it. So I stuck this guy underneath the microscope, and you can see like the little particles that enhance the color. And it's hard not to get some glare off of this stuff because, once again, if you cut it right, you get some absolutely spectacular chatoyance, which is basically, the light being reflected from some of that mineral habit, just like the other fantastic feldspars love to do. And so um The weathered and weary welcome in, and yes, just in time for some of this Amazonite. And it's like some people, maybe Amazonite is common, but for me, not so much. I haven't really had that much experience with Amazonite, though I always thought it was really lovely. And it's just such a nice match with a lot of the minerals that I like to use, like turquoise and the um the tourmalines, and of course, like I was just saying, chrysoprase or veracite. There's a lot of other crystals and minerals that the Amazonite looks so pretty with, and I am a huge sucker for things that are chatoyant, like charoite. I'm going to definitely make a piece with charoite and the Amazonite. I can't wait. And so, if this didn't look like soap before, we've got like little kind of like zesty crystals in there to enhance its minty freshness, and then you can see the what how interesting this crystal habit is. Both this material, which I'm not sure exactly where the material that Lisa gave me came from, and you guys will see this stone when and some lint. When I pan out, I'll show you the whole stone. But it's interesting. I would say that there's a good possibility, as I stammer and stutter because I'm so excited about this stuff, that it might be from different places, because they do seem to have like a slightly different crystal habit. Let's get closer, because you can see these like almost platelet like uh, configuration for maybe the way that the potassium is setting up in the crystal, as those look like the minty green, and then we've got these like interesting little blue inclusions amid the white sinuousness. It's a beautiful color, don't you think, Lisa? um, and that would be an awesome pairing, don't you think? But I think Lisa is absolutely swoony about anything that you pair purple with, right? But two chatoyant stones that just that kind of minty to turquoise green that the Amazonite comes in, and purple, are such a cool like combination together. So, and in that case, like of course amethyst might get thrown in there, or I have some really nice aqua colored tourmalines. And of course, if you're going towards the other side, towards the cooler side of some of the colors that are represented, because we're talking about different hues, just like with the turquoise. You get some that are greener, some that are bluer, more like I mean, they just remind me of like Iceland ice uh icebergs. And so you could you could lean towards like aquamarine pairing with this sort of thing too. Look at that. That's just beautiful. I mean, as though these aren't beautiful enough when you get to see them with the naked eye. If this doesn't absolutely drive the idea home, it's completely verifiably gorgeous down to its molecular structure. Yeah, you could do such a cool gradient, right? Oh, snap. Like an ombre of gems. Betty, Betty, my darling. Well, if you see that come along with the new drop, you know what happened. That do I need to give you credit on that piece? Probably will. Just brought to you by Betty. Here's this ombre piece. So cool. And Nomad. Ooh, would have made a good ice entry, you know. I would have loved to have done that. Life decided that that wasn't going to happen. And I mean, some like Caleb would say, well, it just seems to happen like every time there's a contest, you don't make it in. But this month, I was going to enter. I was serious because I thought it would be really hilarious if we had to do Cloud Dancer as the cab contest role. just just the pure evilness in me. We would have done the Pantone color of the year. But so just consider yourselves all lucky that I didn't decide to do this as ice, but your fantastic subject for the cab contest was considered many times over. I was digging through my gems several times over while dealing with so many other things. And through the pain, I wasn't able to do that much work, I'll admit. That wasn't the right kind of distraction. And so, ooh, what? Found purple agate on the claim study. Like lavender. That's so cool. You guys have some of the coolest rocks on the planet. You are so stoked. Yeah, that will be fun to look at. Are you guys going to be showing that off on Sunday? Question mark, question mark, exclamation point. And great observation, Kai. Everyone should encourage Karen to enter the contests. I knew that there would be some modicum of heckling there. That's okay. It's deserved. I deserve it. And you guys are all going to be shocked and surprised at some point when I actually do enter. And uh-oh, Karen's giving me ideas. All right, you better divulge what's going on in that brain. I own half of it, so you really do need to let me in on that. Look at that. Look at that. It does feel like ice. It does look like we're looking into some kind of frosty crystal land. It's amazing. All right. I'll have Julie post some pics. It's a small vein, but I think I have a larger chunk in my bag. Everything is pretty muddy and I haven't washed them off yet. Okay, well, hopefully we get to see some of that. Definitely looking forward to it. And so, here we are. I'm all different sizes and shapes, and I'm just all over the place. I'm all over the place. I'm out of practice one week, and all of a sudden I can't get anything figured out. And so here we go. Sunday, great idea. We will show it on our live. Cheers. So excited. Okay, so we'll be looking forward to Brian and Julie's live this coming Sunday. Did anybody have that update about is Kyle going to be doing his live sales this weekend? Was it just last weekend that he was taking off? Or am I am in a time warp. This holiday season, I'm sure everybody feels this way, went by very, very fast. But also with the tooth thing and having family coming in and out, and I actually have some other family members not feeling well, and just intervening in all this has been whew. So I don't know what day it is. If it wasn't Friday, I would absolutely not know what day it is. So Kyle is on tomorrow. Okay, you guys, so you gotta go and hang out with Kyle. Excellent. Having the normal weekend sale. We've got Jerry and Brenda the Wisconsin Rock Staka is going live tomorrow night at 6:30. And oh, that's right, he was pricing stuff. So we'll hopefully be able to join him and incept the new space. We'll see if that's what's going on. And thank you so much, Sage Rat, also checking in when watching cabbing. I am so behind on everybody's videos. I didn't get to hardly watch anything. Spending time with family, doing a ton of jamming. I think we played every single instrument upstairs, and I don't know if y'all have seen the instrument room. Plus, we got some new ones like the 12 string and uh, the U bass, the ukulele bass, and then drum kit. I got a used flute. I play flute, and the pads on my flute have been out for quite some time, and so I actually now I have a flute that will stand in while I send out my original flute, and it's an antique. It's super cool. And yeah, that we just keep on adding to the instrument room. We got didgeridoos up there. We got a dulcimer. I got some hammers for the dulcimer, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. So at any rate, who else is going live? We've got Rockhound Expeditions link. So if you are unfamiliar, who could possibly be unfamiliar with that channel? But if you are, then that's Brian and Julie over there on Arizona Rockhound Expeditions. Their link is up. And we also have the Wisconsin Rock Stocko link up. And thank you, Ma, for that. And the Discord link, thank you for that as well. Paul the Rockhound, good to see you. Thank you for swinging in. And we're wrapping it up, but I'm glad that you guys joined us. You can always scrub back. I will be making chapters for this one. I don't think I did the chapters for the last one, just too much going on. But from here on out, and for all of them, we're doing the chapters. So if you wanted to just look at the Amazonite or just look at the opals or just see the news, like if you were wondering about those gold prices or whatever, then each one of these things is going to have its chapter. And that's handy, especially if I've got guests on. Planning on having guests for the next live. We've got a bunch of different features that I would like to roll out for the new year. Also, like I said, getting ready for another live sale that'll be at the end of the month with a bunch of new goodies incorporated with that. I've been on 2 beach hunts, one of them shorter than the other. And so that video will be dropping, let's fingers crossed, and it's going to be this weekend sometime. But it's going to all have to depend on what's going on with the tooth. And I also have a bunch of material going on the membership side. 20 new members tonight. Thanks again for that. All of you that contributed and are members. It keeps all of the wheels rolling around here, literally with the cab machine, but also with the gas for mining expeditions, the tools that we need, the platforms, all the things that go on, the StreamYard that we're using right now. It's just I really, really appreciate all you guys for supporting. And even if you just do the thumbs like or the thumbs like, whatever that means, leave a comment, any of this stuff, any of this interaction lets YouTube know that this is valuable enough to spread out to maybe some people, like just broaden the range of where it's willing to shoot it out to. And who knows, we make a new rock friend. We find a new person who wants to share opals with us. Who knows? Who knows who's out there still? There's so many people that are into this. I'm so happy that we're together, though, that this fantastic rock community joined together and had such a fun time through the Christmas holiday and here in the new year. Thank you so much for joining for the Friday Night Live. And we're going to roll off into a long weekend of rock fun with you guys. Hopefully we'll see some lives from Ryan and Soul and Les and all y'all. Allison, I have to catch up on Allison Prairie Girl Rocks videos because I had to miss those. I'm just so sad. I did say Jeff, right? All y'all out there, thanks for sharing your rocks, and I wish you the very, very best and the most rocks and the most pretty ones in the new year. Cheers to you. And really quick, I'm going to tell everybody a great big thank you while I'm pulling up the credits here. I'm like, I'm getting the wagons circled, and I don't have everything up, and so I'd like to thank you guys all for coming this evening, as I said, and let's see, which credits do we want? When was the last time that we did credits? I think it was mushroom hunting, huh? There it is. Okay. Let's do that.
Alive,
Here it
everybody.
is. Thanks, everybody. You guys rock. Kid Curry, Freeform Lapidary, Brian and Julie, Lisa, Sage Rat, Patricia, Get Your Bone. And we would love to see somebody right now go live.
Mushroom hunting.
Oh, yeah. So, Ryan, thank you. Scott, thank you. Brenda, thank you. Weathered and Weary, thank you. Kai, thank you. Ma, thank you. Paul, Allison, Jahik. I said Ryan, right?
Are you here?
Cheryl.
Am I here?
All y'all. Have a great night. Man, we can't hear me. Let's start over again.
Are you here? Am I here?
Man, we can't hear me. Let's start over again.